Hi guys, welcome to Corona specific series by LDFS. I'm Dr. Lakshmy. Today we will be continuing the discussion which we had in our last video, that is regarding the crucial meeting with the landlord. In the last video we have discussed 3 points. One was face-to-face meeting if possible. Second, it was to be polite during the entire conversation. And third was to be transparent. If you have not watched that video, the link is there in the description below. You can watch that so that you'll have better understanding of today's video also. Now, before continuing further, I would really like you to kindly like and subscribe to our channel and kindly share our channel to your friends, your colleagues, your juniors especially, so that we can increase our community and also help as many people as possible. Thank you so much in advance. Let's proceed with today's video. The first point is to remind him about your track records. Now, always remember, these track records which you had earlier will help you a lot. It's like um, nowadays when the board exams are cancelled, the result is based on your performance of the previous years. Similarly, right now, if we want the success of this meeting or we want to have ask for discount or reduction in the rent, etc., always remind him about the track records, the timely payment, you were never behind the rent, you always paid on time, any financial interaction which you had with your landlord, maybe it was any maintenance payment or any advance payment, you always cleared all your dues, you never kept anything pending. These are very important qualities because every landlords, the according to their definition of best tenant, is the one who pays their rent and clears his due on time. That is something very important for every landlord. So your track record will help you make that, or rather make your case a little stronger. So always remember to remind the landlord about your track record. So that is the first thing to do. Second thing is to keep the data of neighbor research ready. Now, this one point which we have covered in the groundwork video. If you have not watched that video, you can click on the link below in the description. We have added that link. You can go ahead and check that so that you'll understand it better. But in short, I'll give you the idea about it is that in neighbor research, what I did was first I inquired with the other shop owners who were under my landlord. My landlord had around 7 shops, so I have asked the other owners what they did, other shopkeepers what they did, how was their payment, did they had a discussion with the owner, if they had the discussion, what was the result, did he reduce, how much did he reduce, what was the rent earlier and what is it right now, everything, all the details possible, and were they behind the rent anytime, what happened at the time of lockdown, did they pay any money for that at that time, like the rent was paid or how was it, everything, all the details I'll collect. So first thing was the other shopkeepers under my landlord. Next step what I did was I contacted the adjacent building shops. So adjacent buildings were by different owners, and those shopkeepers had different owners, right? So I have contacted them also, irrespective of what business they had. I've contacted music shops. I've contacted beauty parlors. I've contacted different businesses. But the basically the idea was to get uh, what is happening in my neighborhood. How are the other tenants responding? How are the other owners responding? Are they reducing the rent? What is the trend right now? If somebody is renting some new shop, if some shop is vacant, what is the rent going on right now? Has it reduced? Everything I've collected, all the data, and kept everything ready before the meeting with the landlord. After keeping all these data ready, all these answers to all the questions ready, what I did was I didn't discuss these things in the starting of the conversation. Nobody likes being compared, even our landlords. They don't want us to compare them with the other landlords or compare them with how they are responding to the other shopkeepers. They don't want that. But I needed these points to be discussed only when nothing else is working. So keep these data ready. When you feel that no other idea is working, nothing is working with him, then at that time you can express these things. And in fact, one more thing you can add to this point is, if by chance you have to leave that place, it is very difficult for him to find another tenant who is willing to pay this much rent during this pandemic. So that is one of the important point for the landowner. So always think from his perspective. Think, what is he losing when, if I am not there, if I am not paying, what is his loss, what, how will he think? So accordingly think about the points. So this is one of the important points, that if you leave, it's very difficult for him to find a good tenant like yours who will pay exactly the rent what you are paying right now, which was the pre-pandemic uh, rent. So he'll continue that rent and he will get that tenant and all. It's very difficult. It's very hypothetical, you can say. Nowadays everywhere the rent has reduced. So that is one point which you can add when you're discussing about the neighbor researchers. So that is the second point. Third point is to frame your negotiating sentences well. Now, this was one of the reasons why I said earlier in my last video that you should not negotiate on messages, because on messages the other person doesn't know the tone, or it is quite possible that they'll misunderstand the way we are speaking. So rather than that, it's better to have, it's better to frame the sentences better, especially the negotiating sentences. Rest all is fine, but at least the negotiating sentences, frame it beforehand so that you're better prepared on how to convey what you mean, and that too in a very effective manner. So framing the negotiating sentences is something which you can do before you meet the owner, so that it will help you during that crucial meeting. So that is the third thing to do. The fourth point is, last but not the least, keep your other plans ready. Now, in this, you need to understand and prepare yourself with other scenarios also. Like if he rejects the reducing rent idea, what are the other ideas which you have? You can't always go and meet him for every idea. It's better to have all those discussions in one meeting itself. He will also not be frustrated, and we will also be a little relaxed with the discussion. So second thing to keep it ready was, maybe if you're reducing the rent idea is rejected, then you can ask him about the contract renewal. When the contract, if the contract renewal is nearby, then you can ask him to not increase the rent in that renewal time, and maybe continue that same rent for the next year, or maybe next half a year, something like that. Or maybe you can ask him that there is some reduction in the rent right now, but you'll pay the reduction amount after 6 months. Or maybe if you are doing an advance payment, like if you have rented the shop on 1st of Jan, and you pay the rent of full January month in 1st Jan itself, then you can ask him that let the full Jan be done, and you'll pay the January month rent on the 1st of Feb, something like that. So you need to work out and think about other ideas which will help you personally, and keep all those plans ready, so that if he's rejecting one, you can present the other one. If he's rejecting the other one, you can present the other one also. So like that, keep 3 or 4 plans ready with you, and have all those discussion in the same meeting. Don't keep separate meeting for every plan. Keep all the plans ready and discuss it in the same meeting itself. So that is the fourth point. Now let's just combine all the points which we have discussed about the crucial meeting of the with the landlord. In my next video, we have made a flow chart which we are giving it for free, which you can use it before going for the crucial meeting with your landlord. In that, we have tried to summarize all the 4 videos which we have done till now, and those videos we have combined. We have created a flowchart so that you'll know what to say first, what to say last. Like the earlier we discussed about the neighbor research, which has to be discussed at the end. So we have created a hypothetical situation and have created this flowchart. I think it will be very much helpful to you. So before ending this video, I will just summarize the points which we have discussed in the crucial meeting with the owner. First was having face-to-face meeting or telephonic meeting. Never discuss on negotiation. Never negotiate on messages rather. Second is to be polite during the entire conversation. Third is to be transparent. Fourth is to remind him about the track records. Fifth is to keep all the data of your neighbor research ready. Sixth is to frame your negotiating sentences well. Seventh is to keep the other plans ready. I hope these videos were useful for you, and in our next video we'll share the flowchart with you for free, and you will be better prepared for that important meeting. Now the third wave is coming. I hope you utilize this to the maximum extent. Thank you so much, guys. Kindly comment below and let us know how you like these videos and did it help you to be better prepared for the meeting. We love your feedbacks and it's very important to us. Send us a hi on this number. We'll add you to the special broadcast list where we will be sending the free materials first to you persons and then to the other people. Thank you so much, guys. Until next time, bye.